From Gravel to Grave is a debut full-length album from RACER, a Linz, Austria-based black speed metal band, and one that focuses much more on the speed thrash metal side of things than they do the black metal side. The vocals are certainly aggressive, and they are in the black metal register. These are typically, I think, black metal musicians by trade otherwise, and they capture this interesting separation between the classicism and speed metal, but also giving it a harsher black metal affect through a very raw production value and songs that are extremely catchy and rooted in early first wave black metal as well as speed metal of the same time. They were kind of the same breed at one point, and that's kind of where their sound is coming from, sort of. So we'll listen to a clip, and you'll kind of split the difference between my description and the way it actually plays out, and then I'll figure out how to shorten that distance here after that. So when we're talking about this kind of band, I always go to the first two Bulldozer albums. I think it's a great example of Venom-influenced thrash metal or speed metal, and the way that transitioned and influenced a lot of other bands down the road. Now, these are musicians from bands like Kringa and Hagzissa, and these are very serious black metal bands that are experimental and unique in their treatment of classicism, and the way they think about classics and their tribute to them is to stick to what the greats did and don't try to mess it up with modern bullshit. And that's what they've done here with this band, is they've really stuck to the classic modes. The influences are obvious enough, just as they are in bands like Deathhammer and Division Speed and whatnot. And we could reference 1,000 earlier 80s darker evil thrash metal records and speed metal records, but you get the idea. There's a little bit of infernal overkill on this record. There's some more raw points. There's some that are maybe a little bit earlier, like mid 90s black thrash, which was something totally different from Scandinavia at the time. So they kind of they run the gamut, but that's not really what's interesting about this record. The subgenre idea is set. That's not really what makes it a fun thing or a cool thing at all. It's more that there's a theme to it. They kind of have an attitude running through the whole thing. They do well with the retro sound here, but they give it their own violent, aggressive thing, and they do well with it. I think the theme is kind of dumb. I don't really care about racing, but I get how death on the track and death in a very public way is kind of a cool subject if you really think about it and want to. And I like that they've approached this in a way that's both entertaining and the way they would have done it in the 80s, but it's also kind of just their thing to add to it. Otherwise, there are riffs. There are some great leads. There's like some Iron Angel kind of riffs here and there. It's a lot of good things happening on this record. I didn't take it all that seriously. It's just a cool thing. And if you're a fan of speed metal in the 80s, that's probably the right way to think about it. So check it out if you will. I think this is a pretty decent record. It's fun if you want that kind of thing, but it's also got riffs, and it's if you're a fan of just speed metal and thrash metal in general, this is a harsher kind of thing, but it still fits in that realm pretty well of 80s music. So check it out for yourself. It released on July 26th, and you can read my review if you'd like a couple of deeper thoughts there in the actual written review.